Okay, hello again. I just realised I need to change the stream info, so I'll get on that, I think. First of all. Yeah, enjoy the music while I just get this sorted out again. Okay, there we go. Right, so I'm not going to be doing much long stream now because it's still fairly late for me at the moment, but the plan today is to do some of the skills for the custom Death Knight hero that I've made. The game, but I'm going to do an AoE Deathcoil. So it shoots a Deathcoil projectile at a target, damages them, damages enemies nearby, heals allies nearby, as an AoE Deathcoil. And I'm also going to do a that was it. A kind of single target attack where he hits a single target for some damage, and then puts a debuff on them that lasts a long time, that does extra damage over time. And but you need to be able to dispel it, so to get rid of it. Otherwise, you'll probably lose that unit eventually. Right, so let's start by just grabbing the custom Death Knight unit first of all, and just place it down somewhere so I can. Yep, there it is. Accursed Strike, Deathcoil Blast, and Unholy Aura. So these are the three skills we're going to make. These are just dummies right now, which they won't do anything, but we're going to work on that. Okay, here's a Death Knight. So, as usual with this programming, the first thing we're going to do is run the constant generator, which is going to extract all of the names of the abilities and things, and I'm going to make a new folder inside here, and let's rename this Heroes. Okay, right, so this is where we begin. So the first thing we need to do is we need to check whenever the Death Knight enters the field, we need to set his Unholy Aura to the correct level. However, I might want to deal with that externally in a different system, so I'm not going to touch that right now. But we can do the Deathcoil effect first. I think that's probably the better idea. So let's start with that. So we always need an initializer of some kind. Right, okay, that's how we get started. So now we need to import all of the systems and things that we're likely to need. Most of these, I suspect. Okay, that's going to recognize this as being a missile. Right, okay, let's give this a try then. So first thing we need to do is we need to register when the Death Knight casts his spell to actually use the... we need to capture that event, basically. Okay, so that's registered. So what we need to actually do is when he casts the Deathcoil, we need to query how much stats the hero has when it was cast. Basically, we're going to be taking his intelligence and strength to determine how much damage this is going to do, plus a bit of base damage and things. And then we need to know who it was cast on, where he's standing, and then launch a missile, and then everything else is taken care of the missile after that. Now, I need to think about exactly how much damage this is going to do. So, when we're planning these kind of damage numbers, you have to think, like, how much is it going to do at this level 1? How much is it going to do at level 10? How much is it going to do at level 20? And you don't want it to scale too aggressively. Like, you want it to be maybe 3 times stronger at level 20 as at level 1, and at level 20 it should be strong enough to perhaps instantly kill low tier units. So we're looking at maybe, let's say, 700 damage at level 20, and at level 1 we're talking maybe 200. Yeah, that sounds right. So 200 at level 1, 700 at level 20. Yeah, that sounds good. Okay, so let's work that out from the stats. So our hero starts with 15 intelligence and 18 strength. So that's a total of 33, right? He's going to gain 4 strength per level, and he's going to gain 3 intelligence per level, right? So that's 7 per level, okay? So let's check out our Death Knight. Let's put him on level 20 just to see exactly how much stats he has. Alright, so level 20 he's got 9472. Okay, and at level 1 he has, yeah, 1815. Okay. So what I'm going to do is something along the lines of a formula which adds together the intelligence and the strength. And when you're at level 20, with these numbers, it's going to do about 700. And when you're at level 1, it's going to do about, let's say, 220, 250, something like that. That's a bit different to what I said earlier, but we just need to work out a nice formula for that. So in order to do this, I'm going to use my favourite little website for working out these kind of formulas, which is Desmos, which has a nice little graphing calculator, which is very nice. So effectively, I want to make a formula that starts at the level of 1, it does about 250, and then at a level of 20, it's about 750. So it's going to be something like y equals, let's see, we want to go from... So we're 20 over that, multiply... Okay. Actually, I probably don't need this. I could just use a normal calculator. Might not need it. It's a linear equation in this case. It's not too bad to work with. Mainly, actually, we need to work out how much attributes he gains per level. That's the biggest thing. He gains 4 strength, 3 intelligence, so 7 per level, right? So he gains 7 total stats per level, and he's going to go from 18 intelligence, 28. Sorry, not 28. 33 at the beginning, and he's going to end on 94 plus 72, which is 166. All right, which should work out fine. Could do with a normal calculator, actually. Okay, here we go. Right, so yeah, he's starting with 33, and he ends with, what was it again? My memory's not so good these days. 166, right, okay. Which is obviously going to give me the answer 7. Yeah, that's right. Okay, that works. Because it's 7 per level, skipping the first one. Because it's 19 levels up. Yeah. Okay, that's right. So it's 19 levels of 7. And we want the damage to go from 250 to 700. Okay, so 250... Well, let's do 700 minus 250 first. Obviously 450, right? So we want 450 to be distributed in the scaling of this ability, right? So let's see. So we want it to do... He starts with 33, and then he gains 19 times 7, yeah. That's not what I wanted. 9 times 7. Add. Sorry, 19 times 7. My god, this thing, seriously. Can you just clear everything, please? Right, it gains 133 stats, right? So we need 450. Right, so for each point of strength and intelligence, the damage of the skill is going to increase by 3.38. So in other words, it's going to be about 1.7 times his strength and intelligence added together. Yeah, that's right. Okay. Alright, so that means that after the 19 level ups, he'll have gained 450 damage from what he started with. So now we need the initial value, which will be 250 minus yeah, it doesn't work that way. I hate calculators because you can't put brackets and stuff. Okay, which is about 112. Okay, so the initial damage is... I mean, I'm rounding everything up here, obviously, but the initial damage is going to be the 250. Right, about 135, right? So it's 135 plus 1.4... sorry, 3.4 times his strength and intelligence added together. And that will give us the formula... which allows him to do roughly 250 damage at level 1, all the way up to 700 damage at level 20. Okay, there we go. Right, that was a lot harder than it needed to be. This is what happens when you try to do actual mathematics at almost midnight. Right. But let's give it a try, shall we? Okay, 115 initial damage plus 3.4 times the sum of those two stats. Okay, there we go. Right, so I want it to do damage and healing in equal amounts, just to keep it simple. So it's going to damage enemies for this much, and it's going to heal allies for that much as well. Okay, so we're just going to leave it at that. So what we need to do now is we need to set up a property for this Deathcoil Blast. So I need a constructor. I'm going to use the same as the one I did for the Frozen Revenant's projectile, because it essentially functions the same way. So actually I'm going to grab both of those actually. Okay, right, let's keep this bit, but we don't need to do the flying thing, because it's just going to hit land and air regardless. We don't need to check that. And get rid of that. Okay. Alright, so far so good. Now we need this thing needs its property, so it needs to remember what it was cast with, so let's give that its property. Okay, that's good. Now we need a projectile model for this thing, so I'm just going to use Deathcoil. I think that's probably the best bet, because you'll recognize it at least. Okay, right. So let's put that in here. Okay, so speed is going to be about 1000, because that's good enough. It doesn't need an arc, so that's going to be at 0. And its effect we just grabbed here. I'm making it slightly bigger than usual because it's going to be a big Deathcoil, obviously, because it flies in and explodes on a big AoE. But yeah. Oh, I forgot to mention as well. This death coil actually, it's only the initial target that it does the full damage to. Everything nearby, it does half of that. But the allies as well, they also get half that in healing as well. So, right. So we've got all this group here. Okay, which is enemy, alive, non-spell immune, non-structure, and we don't need to check for that. We actually need both enemy and ally in this case, so we want to get rid of. I want to get rid of that line there, because we need both enemy and ally. So it's alive, non-spell immune, non-structure. Is that correct? Yes, that's it. Okay. Right, well let's just fire the missile first from the actual spell cast. So this is fairly simple. Okay, nice. Okay. Right, okay, so we've got all the units now in a single list. We need to split this list now into allies and enemies, and also separate out the individual target as well. So, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to deal damage to the target first, because that's quick and easy to do. Right, so that's spell damage straight to the target. That's very quick and easy. Now I need to do some effects. Actually, let's do that first, so I don't forget. As an impact for a big death coil, let's see. Spawned effects, probably something like the undead building explosion. I think would work well. Yeah, that could work. Is there not a better one, maybe? I mean, a really big animate dead would look quite good as well, actually. Let's have a look. Yeah, that effect, but made bigger. It would probably look quite good. Maybe we could use both, actually. Yeah, why not? Let's use both. Okay, that's the animate dead effect. And now we're going to do the same with the undead building explosion effect, because I think... Oh, actually, the... I don't know. I was thinking of the dissipate effect. When undead heroes die, you see those like skulls raising out of the ground, but it's a bit too slow. It doesn't really look like it's exploding, you know? I like that runic thing, by the way, as well. Where is it? Shadow Orb Fragment. Yeah. Runes. quite useful for various things. Anyway, so yeah, let's use that then. Okay, so Altar of Darkness. There's a small one and a big one, right? Oh no, they're actually the same. Okay, well, let's just do that one then. We don't need to scale this one up so much because it's already fairly wide in its size. Okay, there we go. Right, so that's the effects done. So we've damaged the main target, we've done the AoE. Now we need to separate this group into allies and enemies. Enemies, we're going to hurt them for half the damage. Allies, we're going to heal them for half the damage. That's the general idea. And probably put a Deathcoil effect on each one that got hit, so it's clear which ones were actually hit as well. That would be a good idea, I think. Which means we also need to put a Deathcoil effect on the target that you actually cast it on, so let's do that first. Okay, so a lot of effects going on at the moment, but now we can actually do the real thing. Okay, let's split the group, like I said. So units hit. Let's split this out, shall we? Right, so key thing is here, I need to make sure that I don't put the target into the selection twice, otherwise, yeah, that's obviously going to be a bit of a problem if they get hit for double damage, because they're already getting hit right here, so we don't want to do that. Right, so simple case now of just adding a loop to damage all these units, so fairly simple. Okay, very simple. So heal the ally, put an effect on him. Boom. And then we just do the same for the enemies. And then put an effect on them as well. So we can just copy that. Nice. Okay, that is basically it. We now have an AoE impact Deathcoil, which should be interesting. So let's save that there. Let's make sure we actually run the initializer, so I need to put that over here. We need to make sure the namespaces match up as well, because for some reason it always goes a bit weird for some reason. Okay, there we go. Right, let's save that. Okay, so we need a couple of things to use this on. Let's get a few more knights again. Nice. And he is a very high level right now. So we'll test the full damage version of it. What I am going to do though is I'm going to get it to print how much that damage number is so that we actually calculated it correctly. It should be around 750, it won't be exactly, but let's get it to print that, shall we? Okay, yeah, let's give it a try. Let's see how it works. Okay. So yeah, we'll just use the Death Knight. We'll fire its Deathcoil straight into the middle of the knights. Good idea. So that we can see it get hit by it and healed. But yeah, the AoE should be 200, which is fairly small. But hopefully the effect matches up with the size. It might need a bit of adjusting otherwise, but we'll see.
My patience has ended.
Okay, here he is. Right, so got Deathcoil Blast. Okay, nice. Let's throw the Abomination in, because he'll take hits from stuff.
I am darkness. For the Lich King.
Ha. Notice there's only one knight there. Remember to hit save. before you launch. It's pretty dumb of me. Actually, one thing we need to check. The allies should only be undead allies. I forgot to mention that. We can't heal. Right, so actually we need to add that in. So the allied units, they need to be undead. So I need to add that in there actually. Because Deathcoil doesn't heal living allies and it doesn't hurt enemy undead. In this map it's quite unlikely that there will be living allies and enemy undead, but I want to do it like that anyway, just in case. Technically, the Death Knight himself will not care, and he will cast a Deathcoil even on a undead enemy. But I don't care anymore. It should be fine anyway. It's very unlikely that you'll have that happen. Okay, that's good enough. Okay, let's try that again, shall we? Funky jazz music. Ba 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 da ba da ba da ba da 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 ba da ba 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 da ba da. Yeah, this is Kayaksha from the Darker Than Black soundtrack.
My patience has ended.
Right. Wow, he's really scary at max level. 10 armor, 2500 health, 100 damage. Yeah, it's pretty scary. Alright. So let's throw this abomination in.
What we do.
And then let's see the Deathcoil.
Yes. Yeah. Let battle be joy.
679 damage. Not bad.
My wrath. At your order.
Yep, and the abomination was healed.
Rise or die. By their soul. For the Lich King.
Pretty good. So yeah, this is how strong the level 20 heroes will be. Actually, it'd be much stronger because the aura would be level 20 as well. It's only level 1 at the moment. But yeah, it's a pretty nasty Deathcoil spell, that. 679 damage. It's pretty scary. Okay, nicely done. Okay, so we got an AoE Deathcoil now. So yeah, it did about 700 damage. Like I say, I slightly scaled it a little bit differently. I just want to see what it's like at level 1. So let's set this guy just down to level 1 instead. And try that out again. So it should do about 160, something like that. 160 damage around. But yeah, I think the AoE, the effect on impact was just about right in terms of size. It looked fine actually.
My patience has ended.
Okay, send in the abomination.
I am the darkness.
And now our level 1 Death Knight with his much weaker Deathcoil. And much less mana as well. Shoot. 220. Okay, yeah, that's about right actually, that's fine. So 220 at the lowest level, 670 at the max level. Yeah, that's good. I'm happy with that. Cool thing, of course, he can actually heal himself if he hits himself with his AoE, so that's kind of interesting.
Last. As you order. For the Lich King.
He'll actually level up here as well. So he did a bit more damage. 250.
Let battle be joy.
Okay, pretty cool. Happy with that. So always remember the last step of programming things like this is just to remove your debug printouts. Otherwise you end up confusing people with random numbers, which is bad. So just delete that little debug message there. Nice. Okay, pretty good. Yeah, quite happy with that. He can currently heal himself if you target something in melee range, but yeah, I'm okay with that. I don't think it's a major problem, and you know, it just means you have to spread out a little bit your units. I mean, if you're fighting him in melee, there's not much you can do, but okay, quite happy with that. Right, so yeah, that is an AoE Deathcoil. Not so difficult. Only took, what, let's have a look. 35, 40 minutes, something like that, according to OBS. So, yeah, not too difficult. And obviously everything that's done here can be reused for other things in the future, so yeah, it's pretty good. Right, okay, so that's all I intended to actually do for this second half of the stream today. A bit shorter, obviously. I'll probably upload this again to YouTube, just as a nice little tutorial for like how to make a custom spell. But yeah, thank you very much, and enjoy the rest of your day.